Hi, hello, how are ya? Chef Kennedy here. Girl Scout cookies are a classic American treat. Recently, some Girl Scout cookies have become vegan, besides my favorite, Samoa cookies. Some may call them Samoas, while others know them as Caramel Delites. You could call them whatever you like, just don't call me late for dessert. Today we are making decadent Samoa cookie bars with a shortbread base topped with salted caramel mixed with toasted coconut and drizzled with dark chocolate and a sprinkle of flaky sea salt. These cookie bars are so good, you're gonna want Samoa that. Let's get into it. Alright, we're gonna start with our shortbread cookies, followed by our salted caramel, toasted coconut, and then finish it with a chocolate drizzle. So I'm taking an 8x8 square pan with a removable bottom here. You could use a regular pan if you'd like. Just make sure to line it with parchment paper with a little bit of an overhang. Set that aside and we'll start working on the cookie. So you're gonna take 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Add in a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Mix that together. Now we're gonna take 1 tablespoon of cornstarch and 3 tablespoons of cold water. This is gonna be our egg replacer. Whisk that together. Now add in 3/4 of a cup of sugar. Mix it up. Now we're gonna add a 1/2 cup of butter that has been left at room temp and just slice that in. Now if you have a hand mixer or a stand mixer, you can definitely use that here and cream together your butter. I didn't have that, so I used a fork and a whisk. And let me tell you, my forearms feel great. Once that's all creamed together, you're gonna add in your flour. I always like to start with a spatula and then finish with my hands to just really get in there. Once that's all mixed together, we're gonna add it to our parchment lined pan and just press that down. Now it's gonna be a little sticky right now because the butter is pretty melted at this point, but do your best job to spread it out and then chill it for about 5 to 10 minutes so that you could go back and refine, make sure everything's nice and even. Once that's all pressed down, you're gonna use a fork to create some holes. This is gonna prevent the cookie from rising as it cooks. Now we're gonna bake that for about 20 to 25 minutes at 350 until lightly golden brown at the edges. Set that aside while we work on our caramel. Now if you have a thermometer, that's great. You can make sure not to cook your sugar more than 340. If not, you could do it by watching it. So we're gonna take 1 cup of sugar, and as you can see, after about 5 minutes, it's gonna start to melt and get crumbly. After about 10 minutes on medium to high heat, it'll get even more crumbly, and then it'll turn into this amber liquid, and that's what you want. Then you're gonna add 6 tablespoons of room temperature butter to the mix. Allow that to melt in a second, and it's gonna be a little seized up at first, but you're gonna cook it for a couple more minutes just so the butter gets melted. Then add in 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt and a 1/2 cup of room temperature coconut cream. Mix that up and cook that for about 2 more minutes until the mixture comes together. Allow this to cool before using. And as it cools, it's going to get thick and delicious. While you wait for that to cool, it's time for a dance break. Okay, now we're gonna take 3 cups of unsweetened coconut flakes. We're gonna add that to a parchment lined sheet tray and spread it out nice and thin. Bake it for 5 minutes at 350 degrees until toasted. Now you're just gonna mix that up and add it to a bowl. Add in your caramel. Mix that together until it's fully incorporated. And then add it over top of your shortbread cookie base. Spread it out until it's nice and evenly layered. I like to press it down just to make sure there's not any cracks. And then I also use the back of a cup just to create that crisp layer of coconut. Allow that to chill for at least 2 hours before cutting. For me, I like to cut my cookie bars into thirds and then flip it around like so and cut that in half. And then I'm gonna cut each half into thirds. This is gonna yield 18 pieces. They might be small, but they are mighty. They are very decadent. Now you're just gonna add that to a wire rack and melt your chocolate. So we're gonna take 1 cup of chocolate chips, 1 teaspoon of coconut oil, and we're just gonna add that to a liquid measuring cup and into a pot with about 1 inch of water. Cook that for about 5 to 10 minutes until your chocolate is melted. Then you're gonna add a Ziploc bag to a cup and add in your chocolate. This is just gonna give you that nice drizzle effect. Then just go ahead and drizzle those Samoa cookie bars with all the chocolate you've ever dreamed of. Now I'm gonna add some flaky sea salt, because who doesn't love a sweet and salty combo? Allow those to chill until the chocolate is set and then serve. Okay, so here we have our decadent Samoa cookie bars with everything good and right in this world. Salted caramel, dark chocolate, flaky sea salt. So excited to try these. Oh my gosh. Oh my Lanta. These are fire, delicious, amazing, fantastic, magnificent. I love the butteriness mixed with that sweet and salty thing that's happening. Oh my gosh. You have to try these. These are out of this world. Don't forget to like and subscribe. From my kitchen to yours, Chef Kennedy out.